When I first moved into my new apartment, it felt like the perfect fresh start. Quiet building, cheap rent, decent neighborhood. But from the very first night, I noticed him. The man next door, tall, almost unnaturally so, with a long black hoodie that hung past his knees. Even in the middle of July, when the heat made the air feel like boiling soup, he wore that same heavy sweatshirt, the hood pulled low enough to hide his eyes. The strange part wasn't just his appearance, it was his routine. Every single night, exactly at 9:15 p.m., I'd hear his door creak open. A slow, drawn-out groan of old hinges, followed by the soft drag of footsteps down the hallway. Not hurried, not casual, almost like someone counting each step. The sound was hypnotic and unnerving all at once, like he was measuring the distance between our doors. But here's what unsettled me the most. I never actually saw him leave. Not once. I never heard the front door open. And during the day, the apartment next to mine was silent. No TV, no music, no plumbing. It was as if he only existed after dark. For weeks, I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Maybe he worked nights, maybe he was just private. But the small details started to eat at me. His mailbox was always empty. No packages, no name on the buzzer. And yet without fail, that door opened at 9:15 every single night. One night, my curiosity finally broke through my fear. Around 9:10, I switched off my lights and pressed my ear to the wall we shared. At first, silence. Then came the sound of faint whispering. Not one voice, not two. It was like an entire room full of people speaking at once, their words overlapping in a strange, rhythmic chant. My heart began to pound. I leaned closer, trying to catch a single word, when suddenly, everything went silent. I froze, holding my breath. That's when I heard it. 3 slow, deliberate knocks, coming from inside his apartment. Knocks so soft they almost sounded polite. But there was something in the timing, a strange pattern, like a message I couldn't decode. I stumbled back from the wall and locked every deadbolt on my door. Sleep was impossible. Every creak of the building made me flinch. The next morning, I noticed something new. The hallway outside his door smelled faintly of wet earth. Not mildew, not rot, fresh, damp soil like a freshly dug grave. The carpet near his unit was slightly darker, as if someone had tracked mud from somewhere. I couldn't take it anymore. That afternoon, I cornered the landlord in the lobby and asked casually, "Hey, what's the deal with the guy in 3B? Does he work nights or something?" The landlord's face went completely blank. "3B?" he repeated. "Yes, next door to me," I said. "Tall guy, black hoodie." He shook his head slowly. "That unit's been empty for years. We haven't had a tenant in 3B since I don't even remember when." I laughed, but it came out shaky. "No, there's someone living there. I hear him every night." The landlord frowned and pulled a set of keys from his pocket. "Come on," he said, "let's check." Together we walked to 3B. The hallway was silent except for the echo of our footsteps. He unlocked the door and swung it open. The apartment was empty. No furniture. No electricity. A thin layer of dust coated the floor except for one thing. A set of fresh footprints leading from the door to the wall we shared, and then stopping. That night I tried to tell myself I was imagining everything. Maybe the landlord was wrong. Maybe someone was squatting there and left before we checked. I double-locked my door, sat on the couch, and tried to distract myself with TV. Then right on schedule at exactly 9:15 p.m. I heard it. The slow creaking sound of a door opening. But this time it wasn't coming from next door. It was coming from inside my own apartment, somewhere behind me, and then my front door handle began to turn. Slowly, deliberately, metal scraping against metal, Someone was on the other side. Someone who had been waiting all along. I didn't move. I couldn't. I just stood there frozen as the handle clicked to the left, and the faint scent of damp earth drifted in from under the door.